right, time to swing into our financial fix here on this Monday morning on A Cup of Joe. And yes, joining me back is Marsha. That is stuck in my head, Marsha. Marsha Rae Leben. She is the manager of marketing and public relations at the Tobago Mortgage Finance. And she is here because the HDC, and that's the Home Development
Housing Development
Company. Corporation. In conjunction with the HDC, TTMF joined forces and are currently on a drive to convert almost HDC owners on the right track.
Yes.
That's yeah.
Yes.
How not mortgage terms wasn't all that.
No, not quite.
But if you're in an HDC home, you need to be paying very, very close attention this morning. Marsha, what is the whole drive about, HDC and TTMF?
All right. There are a number of persons who occupy HDC properties in a license to occupy arrangement. Right? License to occupy meant that HDC gave them the right to live in the house until a number of the legal documents were finalized.
Right.
That has now been done, so they are ready to convert to a mortgage.
So they would have been occupying the house without all the documentation in place?
Without all the documentation in place, without the documentation in order to convert to a mortgage, right? Now that is in place, that was an HDC, that has been regularized, they're ready for them now. So they now need to come in and convert because the house isn't really theirs. They are licensed to occupy it.
They're licensed to occupy,
they're licensed
not licensed to own.
No, they're not licensed to own, right? So they need to become...
They're aware of this?
Yes, they are.
Yeah. I just dotting the I's and crossing the T's, so they're aware of this.
They are aware of this, right? So they now need to become real homeowners. So they need to come into us so that they can convert their property into a mortgage.
So is it that these folks would have pre-qualified?
Yes.
Right, so they're not in risk or in danger of not qualifying when they come into you.
They
say, no, we have to take away your house because...
Not really.
That's a little drama.
Not really. There is a little bit of drama because some of them may have changed their financial situation.
Right.
Some of them may have increased or taken out loans.
Wow.
And, so
that is why it's important that they come in.
But they need to manage that. And now it's also important, remember last week we were talking about the 2% and the 5% and you were so fascinated about that. So not only the rate is subsidized, but also the property.
Okay.
So that you may be able to get a property, and I'm just calling arbitrary figures, right? For $500,000, but it is really worth $800,000 on the market. So there is ready equity in the property. So that if you have already taken a loan, for instance, within that license to occupy period, you can come in, pay for the house for $500,000 and still get the equity to pay off all your other existing debt. Right? So it's important that you do come in so that you can be reevaluated and we can work with you in order to bring you to real home ownership.
So this is not where you're telling people come in and we're going to be bullying you to try to see if you can really keep this house. You're working with these owners.
We are working with these owners because in reality though, HDC can see that if you are not buying the house, then there's somebody else outside there who wants the house.
Wow.
I mean, it is a possibility, so they have to be aware of that, so we are working with them. We are going out to different developments, and we'll announce the developments to the respective homeowners that we're coming. We go there on a Saturday and say that, bring your documents, your job letter, your pay slip, your agreements, and we will start the process to get an application lodged so that you can get the process.
So folks should not be afraid because I mean the risk of not coming could mean that HDC could literally tell you you're no longer licensed to occupy this house.
And they may want to think that because it's HDC they're not going to do anything.
Right.
But times are changing. There are more houses, there are more people than there are houses. So that we really want to ensure that those who are in the houses really keep the houses. People are also a little concerned that if they convert into a mortgage, that we will take their house, you know, if they cannot pay, if they lose their job. But again, you need to come into us, you need to talk, and so that we can work something out with you as to how to keep you in your house, because that is our first priority.
Let me go back to last week, because let's just say, I mean, these houses, based on what you're saying, are within, I mean, I know you just threw figures out there, but let's say they are $500,000 to $800,000 range. Would they be considered first-time owners and get the benefit of the 2 and 5% interest rate? Yeah. So they're getting,
So they're licensed to occupy, so they don't have a house.
Right. So they're first-time owners.
They are first-time homeowners.
And I just want to underline that point you made, because the reality is that some folks may, I mean, life goes on. So let's just say they've been occupying this house for the last year or two, and they decided, okay, let me go and buy a car. Oh, and they will be now afraid that, okay, well, my finances is not the same.
Exactly.
But that's underlying that point you made about the equity and the value of the house. Yes, but
they can come in, and that they will also get a loan once there is equity in the property to be able to consolidate the debt.
Because this is government-assisted houses.
Yes, it's government-assisted houses.
And the cost of the actual house is not the value.
Yeah.
It's not the market value of the house, correct?
Yes, correct.
Yeah.
But let me just add that equity that we will give you, that will be at the 7%.
That's good. Fair enough.
Yeah. That will be at the 7%.
Yes.
Right, because you will purchase the house, the $500,000.
Right. And it's like a fresh loan.
Right, and you will get the equity at 7%.
Yeah.
It is over a longer term.
Yeah.
You know, so it works out for you, so that the installment that you're paying will kind of work out.
Yeah.
And, you know, it can benefit you.
Marsha, that's great news. And you're moving. You'll be putting it in the press where you guys will be.
We usually advertise in the development. We'll send a letter. HEC will send a letter to them and send them a flyer. They'll have town meetings, telling them which Saturday we're coming.
Yeah.
You know, to let them know that we'll be there, so that you can come out and get the process done.
If you're an HEC owner, please look out for when TTMF and HEC are in your area. This is an opportunity for you to not only occupy, but own the piece of property that you're in. Thank you very much, Marsha. It was such a pleasure having you guys on. I hope that you'll be back next season to spread the joy of financial mortgage. Yes?
Yes.
Yeah. That's it, folks. Financial Fix coming to an end here on this season of A Cup of Joe. Thanks to the folks at TTMF. We're coming right back. The show continues after this. It's Music Mondays, so don't move.